Hello, everyone. It is November 1st, 2022. It is a Tuesday, and we are going to, today, it is a response to a chatter's request last stream. We are going to use Python, use our knowledge of data science, Python, all the APIs we have access to, and we are going to look at the stock market, and we're going to look at sentiment analysis, and we're going to see what we can smash together here, and in the end, hopefully learn something new. So it should be a lot of fun. If you're here in the chat, let me know. That'll be really fun, and yeah, let's do it. I don't know if we're going to succeed here. Probably not. I think if we could predict the stock market perfectly, I would have kept it a secret. I wouldn't have told you guys, but we're going to try our best at least to learn something along the way. I do want to remind you guys, I am not a financial advisor. I do not actually advise you to spend any of your money day trading. I think it's a waste of money. I think you should spend your money, invest it in a secure way and not gamble it. But that doesn't mean that we can't use this as a fun topic to learn about data science and Python. Hey, great choice of topic tonight. Thanks, appreciate it. Index funds outperform stockbrokers, someone says. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. There have been competitions where they've asked active traders to beat just index funds, and it's very hard to do. It's very hard to do. So that being said, we're still going to learn something new here tonight. So let's do it. All right. First, I'm going to open up my terminal here. Let's make sure I get everything situated. Uh-oh. Hopefully nothing broke there. I have my TMUX session open here. Got an NVIG config extra nice. Yeah, I do. All right, so we're going to go into my repos directory, and we're going to activate my Kaggle 2 and Jupyter Lab into here. And we're going to work in a notebook, and I've written out here an example of what we're looking to do today. So let's get this working out, shall we? Can we use sentiment analysis to predict stock prices? So I'm assuming we all know what stocks are. The price of a company, or like the publicly traded price of a company. And then sentiment analysis, taking text and converting it into positive or negative feelings. A numeric, let's just say a numeric value to represent the feeling of the text, the mood of the text. So here's our plan today. We're going to use, we're going to see if we can find some indicators. Maybe I'll take some examples from chat of which stocks we can look into. We're going to start with the easy stuff. So we're going to learn how to use Python to pull in historic stock trends. And then we're going to visualize them a little bit. So we're going to plot them using a candlestick plot, which we've used before on stream, but we're going to do it in a few different ways to see, and maybe do some other things like find correlation between different stocks and see if we can find anything there. Yo, what's up, Herbie Hoover? We got Trash Can Magic in chat. We got a bunch of other people. So thanks for joining me if you're here. We're planning on having a fun, good old night. So yeah, these are the first two. And then we're going to learn how to pull historic tweet data. So there's a few different ways we can pull the tweets using the Tweepy API, using some other stuff that we used last week. And then we're going to run sentiment analysis on these tweets. I have a video on YouTube, by the way, exclamation point YouTube should show you my YouTube there if you don't know about it already. Let me paste this because I don't think Nightbot goes straight to both. And you can go there and check out my video on sentiment analysis, but we're going to actually just run that on a bunch of tweets. We're going to see if we can pull the tweets about specific stocks and then run sentiment analysis on those tweets. And then the ideal world is we would find a stock where we found some sort of sentiment that's a leading indicator of if the stock went up or down. But let's at least see if we can see some correlation, or maybe a lagging indicator, like the stock price. If it goes down, then we might see the sentiment respond to that. Maybe the sentiment responds to the stock price more than the stock price responding to the sentiment. So that's a lot to put on our plate for one night, but we're going to try to see as far as we can go. Can I look at some international stocks as well as not just US? Yeah, Praveen, I can. We're going to start with US stocks because that's at least where I'm comfortable with. And then you can send me in the chat. Feel free to let me know. Any, like, where you would like me to pull it from. All right, so let's start by our imports. Import pandas as PD. Of course, we're going to import matplot. Lib pyplot as PLT. And then we are going to use yfinance. So let me show you yfinance. It seems to be a very popular package for pulling this. It uses Yahoo's backend to pull the past stock prices of a specific stock. So I've already installed this, but I'm going to import it here. Yeah, let's import NumPy as NP. Who knows? We probably will need it. And let's see if I did install it. I haven't installed Yahoo Finance. So we're just going to pip install this. Super easy if you're on your own machine or if you're somewhere on a remote server. Here we go. Pip install yfinance. Now I could do this from my terminal or I could do it from here. Either way works. Now this is installed. So I'll do -Q for quiet and I'll comment that out here at the top just so we remember that we installed it that way. Yahoo Finance, super easy to use, okay? If we want to pull down a certain stock, we just make this ticker for it. Here's our example, Microsoft. All right, so we could put in here any stock indicator or stock ticker, and we would get this Microsoft object. All right, so now we have this Microsoft object. I was about to say Microsoft Office. That would be silly. And we can do, okay, so let's just do this tutorial just to get us all on the same page. I'm going to copy this over into a different window and we'll step through this together forever. There we go. So we could do .info, which will give us the information about this stock. I think it pulls down like a bunch of the information from their from Yahoo's website about them. So employees, business summary. I mean, we could do some like meta analysis of all the different stocks by pulling down all this information. And of course, this info is just saved as a dictionary. So if we look at the type of this, it's a dictionary. And if we look at the keys, we have all these different keys that we could look up. So we could make this like into a data frame if we had a bunch of these. But let's say that we just want to look at the total revenue of this stock. And I don't know, is this in US dollars? It's a lot of revenue from Microsoft. Let's pick a smaller stock. Let's do that later. Okay, so we can do info. What else can we do? We could take the history. So this is where we're really where the magic's gonna come in. So by doing history, we can pull down the stock history. This is gonna give us a period of 1 month by default, but we're just gonna say max. So give us all of Microsoft's history stock prices. This is gonna be a daily stock price, I believe. And it's going to be like the close, the start, and the end. Yeah, and we could put this stuff in here if we wanted to. Keep NA as false, so it's going to keep any dates, I guess, where the stock was not trading for any reason. Let's go ahead and run that. Okay, that was super quick. Now we have Panda's data frame where the index is the date. We can see that Microsoft goes all the way back to 1986 and then up until today. So we have all the stocks have closed today. The question in chat about flattening JSON, you can do JSON normalize in Pandas. That's a good way to flatten it. Or if you're asking that because of our info here, which was a dictionary, we could just run this as a data frame and it'll give us all these as columns. Ooh, I do have a little bit of a cough. I apologize for that in advance. Okay, so let's just say, yeah, let's just take the opening and plot this. Just to make sure we have Microsoft's price correctly. Whoa, did Microsoft really peak that much that recently? I guess it did. So there we have the open price and we have it plotted. But there's a lot of other things we can do. Like we'd see the actions. So these are like dividends and stock splits, which I guess would be important if we're looking over the really long term. I think we can also just do dividends to get the dividends and splits to just get when the stock split. So last time that Microsoft stock split was in 2003. Back here. All right. We can also show an earnings report. Revenue and earnings. Oh, this only goes to 2009. And then what else is it here? Earnings dates. These are when the earnings were reported, guessing. Oh, and then the calendar, which will show the next earning. These might be important if you're trying to predict in the future, like know when they release their next earnings, and then basically you're trying to predict that. Okay. Yeah, welcome Crazy Fanatic Man to the chat. Good to have you here. All right, so we have learned how to pull it. Now let's pull a bunch of stock. Should we pull like a set number of stocks that we're familiar with, or maybe just pull a list? Let's see if some crazy online person says there's a 15 best stocks to buy in 2022. Okay. This isn't an easy to copy list. Okay, they're saying to buy these. We're just going to parse this. We're going to parse this in Sublime Text. Because I like doing that. We're going to just do this. Yeah, basically take off all this extra stuff. and then go here. Oh, this didn't work perfect. Pinterest SQ shop. What is this one? Is this really the stock ticker is O? Is Disney DIS? Something messed up here when I was doing it. And then Amazon. Okay, these will be our list of stocks that we'll check out for now. Sound good? Oh, we can also just make this into a list. Doing this. Back to our notebook. Let's load our extension to make our code cleaner. Oh, we also need to make these into, these are not objects, so we need to make these into strings. And we can do that a few ways. In here, I just can go like this. There we go. All right, these are our stonks. Those are our stonks that we're gonna look at. How do you do the multi-line parsing? Oh, in Sublime Text, it's Control-Shift-L. But I'm not sure. I'm sure it's in VS Code too. All right, so here we got a number of stocks. Let's see the length of this. 10. Good number to work with. And we're going to just pull the history. Let's limit our history back to, let's go like 3 years ago. 3 years of history. I don't know. It just seems like that's a good amount to pull stocks from. Lopta, what are you saying? You're supposed to be on YouTube, perhaps. You're not. You're in the right spot, man. Add ZM2. It's Zoom. Okay, let's add ZM. Any other requests for stocks to look at? Chat, help me out here. Oh, Lopta did say O for Oracle. You're right. No, it says O for realty income. I don't know what this stock is. An equity real estate investment trust whose primary business objective is to generate dependable money cash distribution. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to read that. O is a REIT. Hey, Age of Neil. Welcome. First time tuning in. I love it. All right, we're going to pull down. So we're going to make our ticker for each of these, where we're going to provide it the stock, which is S, right? Now we have our ticker for Etsy is the first one. And we're going to pull the history, but we're not going to do period of 1 month. We're going to do period of 3 years. Will it work like this? All right, so this is going back to November of 2019, which is perfect. And it should have one for each day. Is it? Wait, what's it? Oh, it's a multi-index where it does this opening and closing date. And it's good because it has the exact time zone, which is New York, from the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so we have our history that we'll get for each of the stonks. Okay, so we have other people asking for stuff. Real estate investment trust. Okay. Clipped is in chat. Welcome. Someone wants to look at Pfizer. Let's look at them. Oop. Someone else wants to look at CLX. We'll add them. Help a brother out with his Hemis. What are you talking about? What is CLX? Clorox. Clorox. Oh, interesting. Oh, so we're doing like COVID ones, right? For the past 3 years. I guess that's, I didn't even think about it. Like if we were pulling in the last 3 years, this is going to be all COVID impacted stock prices, but maybe that'll be cool to see like how the sentiment lines up with it. I don't know. All right. DPZ. Oh, Domino's Pizza. Okay. Oh, CLX is there twice. Yeah, that's because I was supposed to put DPZ in there. All right, now I think we have... Now we have 14. It's fine. So we're going to make our histories stored like this. It might be a weird data structure to put it in, but this will work. So we'll pull all these stonks down, get 3 years of history, and then we're going to do some plotting after that. GSPC as my benchmark. Oh, BRK is delisted. What's BRK? Is that one of the ones that they said to buy this month? Berkshire Hathaway? All right, since that is not working, so now if I go to HIS and we do BRK, it should have nothing. Let's replace that with our benchmark here. BRK.B. Oh, did it split or something? Let's try this. And what was the other suggestion? GSPC. So we'll add this. And we'll just rerun it. Oh, wait. GSPC isn't showing anything. BRKA is delisted. What? I need a dash for YouTube finance. Okay. Dash B. Thank you. Oh, and for GSPC. Oh, I need to include this up arrow. There we go. Let's see if we can get them all now. There we go. We got it. RTX if possible. Okay, this is the last one I'm adding. RTX. I don't know if we can pull like the history or the sentiment of all of these, especially for this time period. All right. Plot the stock price. So obviously we showed how to plot the stock price here before. So we could just do like title is stock price. Like that's the easiest way for us to plot it is just by doing a simple line plot. This is kind of boring though. We want to be able to see what are the highs and the lows for each day. What was the range? What did it start at? What did it end at? And we can use a candle stick plot. We could do it in matplotlib, but before we were doing it, last time we streamed, we did it with Plotly. Express, and it was pretty sweet. So let's use this again. So a candlestick chart, we can do with plotly graph objects. Let's add this to the top. And then we're just going to do something like this. Make a figure and then show it. So we have to give it our data frame, which is going to be, let's make a like a temp data frame, which is going to be, let's start with our baseline one. Right here. We're just going to copy this as our temp data frame. And as open, high, close, open, high, low, and close. What? I thought we imported this. I guess we didn't run that cell. Oh. Alrighty. What is going on now? Date. Oh, this is just going to be our index. Will it though? Yeah, it will. Okay. So we're going to do... All right, so this is our main one that we're following. And if we zoom in here, we should be able to see the high, the low, the open, and the close each date. We want to change the figure size. Are people saying plotting is hard to learn? I agree. We can do this super easy. Okay, so we have now we have some indicators. This is not moving up and down much intraday, but we can go ahead and do this for each one. How do we update? How do we update the height and width of this? I know we did this when we were doing our chess analysis stuff the other day. Yeah, so we can do this. Update layout, and we can give it like a new look. We can get a different look. We can give it a different height. We can add the padding a little bit. And then we can add the title is going to be our stock, which is, let's just do this. Stock is this. There we go. All right, height needs to be a little bit less. Oh, use. Hey, Noah, welcome and thank you for the kind words. Yeah, I usually push my code to Kaggle somewhere, or I do have a GitHub repo where I push a lot of it. I'm sorry, guys. My cough is getting to me a little bit more than I thought. I guess I haven't been speaking. I had a need to speak like more than a little bit at a time. And hey, we're gonna get through it though. All right, so we're going to plot each one. So we just went through each of the stonks and we just pulled them down. But now we're going to do a plot of each stock. And we're going to look if we see anything super interesting. Oh, ETSW. I know what you mean about using gists. Someone in the other chat was asking about where all this code sits. So that's why I shared the GitHub repo. No problem. I know it's confusing now. I'm streaming 2 places. Maybe I should stop doing this eventually, but hey, it's been fun. Okay, so it seems like we picked a lot of stocks that were heavily impacted by Corona. Well, I guess everything was, right? But Etsy definitely went up. What we have pins? What is pins? Pinterest, obviously. SQ, Shopify. There's that real estate one. Oh, that really tanked after the COVID hit. Diz is Disney. So they recovered quite well in 2021. And then Amazon. What's ZMP? And this is Pfizer. Pharmaceutical. Clorox. Whoa, Clorox has been going down since this big peak right after COVID. DPZ and RTX. What is DPZ again? Domino's, yeah. And Raytheon. Okay, so now we figured out how to pull all of these stocks and how to plot them. We could see the high, the low, the close for the day. Now we want to pull oh, you're saying someone in chat is saying that their e-commerce did really well during the pandemic. That makes sense. Like, look at these. The ones that really peaked. Yeah, Meli, or MELI, Shopify, Pinterest. These are all things like people were stuck in their house. They were doing them. So how do we pull these? Now let's dive into the sentiment. So we could use the Tweepy API to actually pull all the stocks references, or we can use something that we've used before here to pull them indirectly. So let me load up my Kaggle notebook that we created on stream. What did we do recently? We did, yeah, this Kaggle survey. Yeah, SNS scrape. We used this SNS Twitter module to pull all the tweets about a certain search value. So on Twitter, I believe if you do like the $sign in the stock ticker. So let's pick Clorox CLX because I think that's an interesting one. Let's just focus in on CLX right now. So if I do in a new window here, Twitter, and I search for CLX with a $sign, I'm always worried about I've had bad experiences with searching Twitter on the main screen without checking it first. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. We see that the dollar sign does pull in all, or it should pull in all the references to this stock. And price hikes are continuing to fall in winter too. So this would be a good type of tweet to get the sentiment of and see what this returns. So let's try to go between 2019. So we're going to pull for each year. Oh no. So this was before when we were actually pulling. We wanted to separate by years. This is all we need to do is use this SNS scrape package, which I'll also pull up here so we can check it out. So it's just a social networking scraping tool in Python. I've only used it for Twitter and only use it for the searching for a term, but it looks like it works for a bunch of other different social networking sites too. Be interesting to use these maybe some other time. But we're going to use just this SN Twitter to search. So we search the brand name too. Yeah, that would be smart. So maybe we'll simplify right now and then we can get more complicated later. But for now, we'll just search for the actual, what's it called? Stock ticker. All right, so stock will look like this. We need to also look and see what are the dates. So we have, we have it called history. Hists. Let's look at the keys. So we're going to focus on Clorox, we said, right? We'll look at the starting date, which is, 2019. Until, let's go today, until 2022, 11/02. Let's just go till tomorrow. The max that we'll pull now is 1,000. We can make that. So this actually enumerates over this search scraper searcher, whatever you call it, and pulls a bunch of tweets each time. We are going to only pull 1,000 just to start and see how this looks. We don't need a tweet list anymore. And let's just let this run. Of course it's looking for the tweets list. No, we do need the tweets list. I take that back because this is what's storing. Every time that we iterate over this, we're storing the result in the tweets list. We're storing the date, the tweet ID, the content, and the username. I think that's about good. Oh, and we here are assigning the year, but we don't want to do that anymore. Okay. Let's see if this works. Ooh, there's a deprecation warning. Someone saying, Eggs is saying, it would be interesting to compare speculators, people who are using the ticker versus general public timing of sentiment. That's a good point. Yeah, because all the people using the stock ticker, I'm assuming, are going to be very focused on the financial aspect of it. All right, now we have this text, right? Wait, this is weird. Oh, that's why. So confused here for a second. Like, why are these all Kaggle related? That's because we didn't actually put the stock ticker in here. So we need the $ and the stock to be what we're searching for. So stock is CLX now. And let's see if this works. I probably should have changed this to be user.username too. I think this will take care of that error. Let's see how this goes. What does the $ do? So we were just talking about that in Twitter. On Twitter, it's kind of like a hashtag, equivalent of a hashtag, but for stock tickers. What editor do I use now? I use Jupyter Notebooks a lot, or Jupyter Lab, which we're in right now. A text, just straight up text editing, I like to use Sublime Text. And then writing legit code, I'll use VS Code. Yeah. Tweet data frame. All right, so now we have our tweets data frame for Clorox. Let's see what the date time min is. So it looks like it might start. Could it just start with the earliest date or latest date and then work its way backwards? Because it looks like it's gone all the way up until recently. But the minimum value is only a month ago. So let's do some math. This took 25 seconds for 1 month. 25 times 60 seconds in a minute. Times 12 times 3. Sorry, divided by 60. 15 minutes to run that. And we can't have it sample, can we? We might have to just make this 1 year for testing. So let's make this total 12. $12,000. We're going to see if this will cover the past year. Ah, I didn't use the dash username or dot username. There we go. All right, so this is going to take about 5 minutes to run. While that's running, let's prep for doing some sentiment analysis. Did you hear about Deep Note? If yes, do you use it? If yes, do you suggest? I've heard of Deep Note. I've tried it a few times, but I've never actually caught on to like all the hype around it. I think I was just using it incorrectly. I do need a better thing to organize everything that I do, though. I need like a better to-do list organizer. Right now, my to-do lists, I write them out this way, just in a book. Old school. And this works well for me, kind of, but I would like a digital version of it. Your to-do list is ZenKit. Oop. Maybe I should check this out. It does cost money, but it's probably worth it. I mean, if Home Depot uses it, it's definitely worth it. No. You have a command that sends it to a private GitHub repo? That's smart. Man, my cough. It's a bummer. Okay, so we are going to look at maybe this sentiment analysis Roberta base. It looks like probably a good pipeline to use. So this, I'm assuming, was trained on a data set that's specific to tweets. It labels it negative, neutral, or positive. It does give probabilities or some sort of softmax output. Now, the one thing about this is I would love to just use a Hugging Face pipeline. Because then you don't have to do the pre-processing. You can just do it all in a pipeline. It says updated 2021. Yeah, so let's try this. Yeah, so it looks like this might be the same model, just as a pipeline. So once our tweet pulls are done pulling, we can run this. People are saying to-do list is also a good alternative. It's free as well. To-doist. This one, it looks cool. I think like the actual app that I end up using probably won't be that big of a deal. It's more of like just completely buying into it. All right, we're more than halfway there. Once that's done, we're going to have a data frame that we can run sentiment analysis on. And then we'll try to like see if there's correlation between the stock price and the sentiment. We may or may not succeed with that. Or like I said, my hypothesis is that the sentiment's probably going to lag. If anything, it's going to lag the stock price. So if the stock price goes up or down, the sentiment's going to follow that. What's up, Crip? We had been pulling a bunch of stock prices. Now we're pulling a bunch of tweets about that stock ticker. We're specifically looking at Clorox, and we're waiting for this to be done, and then we're going to run sentiment analysis on it. There's a question I always get asked is if we can like look at stock stuff. I think because people think data science, they think, oh, you can make a ton of money just by writing an algorithm to predict the stock market, which unfortunately it's not that easy. Many people are trying to do that all the time, but it's still a fun project to try to learn from. Is it slowing down? Okay, for a second there, it went to like 1 minute. Yeah. Papanzu. Yeah, we're doing stocks and tweet analysis. Currently, we're just waiting for this progress bar to be done. So you can imagine, like, if we're going to run this on all these tweets, I probably should have ran it beforehand, or all these stocks. And we're only pulling 12,000, which isn't guaranteed to be a full year. Like, let's say for a certain year that there are going to be more tweets about it, you're going to have even more. Now, some people are even talking about how we could run this just on the brand name. Like, if we just put Clorox, the word Clorox, in here, we probably would have even more tweets every day. I think looking at Reddit instead of Twitter might be a bit more closer to trend. That's true. I know other people have done that before too, like specifically looking at Wall Street bets and what they predict is being a good stock or not. There's a popular YouTube video where someone does that with competes it against a fish to see which one will win, and the fish wins. Big Larry, so happy to have you. I'm just waiting on this so we can run sentiment analysis. I'm also fighting a cold that I didn't realize would be as tough as it is to stream. So we might have a short-ish stream tonight, but at least if we can get through the sentiment analysis, we'll have like a completed start to end idea. Any other questions for the last 20 seconds of this running? Yeah, so maybe we'll do another stream with this eventually. And all right, there we go. Tweet data frame is here. Our shape. Yeah, we can do this again maybe and like use Reddit like you were suggesting, or maybe have the tweet stuff already pulled before I start like streaming about it. That would be a good idea. Okay, so 12,000 does get us back to this time last year. So I don't know if it's actually just limiting to 1,000 tweets per year. Hey, look, we got BMCNNs. Thank you so much for subscribing. I spin the wheel every time we get a new subscriber, and today is no different. So let's go ahead and spin this. How did you find the channel? I don't think we've hung out and chat before. Okay, 10 push-ups. Ooh, nothing like push-ups to get the coughs out. Thanks so much for subscribing. Can I do more programming for statistical concepts in school? For data science, I struggle with those. Yeah, maybe in future videos. On the chair? Yeah, that's how I always do it. Been doing that for years. I used to do push-ups for just new followers. Now I've switched over to doing it for subscribers only. Okay, so tweet data frame has text in it. So we're going to try to use Transformers pipeline. I also probably should save off this data frame so we don't have to pull it again. So this will save it to disk. And then now we have here also the output of this and the score. Oh, interesting. So let's use this model. I'm not sure what the base model that this pipeline's using. This is going to be our model. Because this actually was wrong. This Distilbert based on case fine-tuned SST English thinks that COVID cases are increasing fast is a positive thing, which is, I guess, a hard text for it to consider to be negative. Which is, I'm guessing, why they showed it as the example. And then we're going to use the tokenizer. I think it might already do that. So let's try. Now it's got to download our model. because I do not have this Roberta-based sentiment Twitter on my local version. Provide the model path. You want me to paste this? Here we go. George is taking a course to obtain IBM Data Science Professional Certificate. Nice. All right, so this is the one that gives it a negative score. Now the question is, can we batch these when we predict them? Or are we going to have to iterate over each one? Let's see if we can run the sentiment analysis task on this tweet and see if it... All right, so this is a positive score for this tweet, which is saying something. Reports earnings 10-day moving average crossed above its 50-day moving average. So that, I guess that's a good indicator. And that sounds like a good indicator. And the sentiment task at least said it was positive. Let's see what the next one is. Gives it a neutral score. I think this was one of those weird ones where I couldn't even tell. Yeah, it's just, I don't know why it says this. All right, so this is definitely a positive one. It seems like a scam though. But the question is, can I feed this in like the first three and will it take in a list and then do the batching for me? No, it will not. So I might just have to iterate over. I know we hate iterating over rows, but sometimes you just got to do it. So we're going to iterate over these. We're going to store the results in a dictionary. We're also going to store it by this tweet ID. That'll be like our unique key. And we'll store this sentiment away like this. Let's make sure this works. Oh, it's starting to run a little too fast. All right, so this will take like 30 minutes to run. Is it running on my GPU? No, it's running. I'm not sure, actually. Is it running on the GPU? Huh. I think it was because the memory is completely maxed out. Do integration Apache Pinot in Python. Not tonight. There's a challenge coming up for AWS to develop a prediction model for League of Legends World Finals. Do you have any tips and tricks for limited data science contests? Oh, that That sounds like a lot of fun, Nitro. I need to take a look at it before I can give any suggestions. It depends what the data set looks like, but that looks really cool. Do they provide any data, or is it just straight up they just tell you to predict and gather your own data? All right, we're going to run 500 of these and see how long that takes. Because we're not going to wait the full 30 minutes to let this run. But this will give us an idea of like what the sentiment looks like, and we can see if we can link it to the stock for those dates. It's a group-based challenge. Let me get the link. Yeah, I'll pull it up here if you got it. Oh, I just realized BMC NNS did respond after subscribing. So I'm sorry I missed that, but you're a last year CS degree. That's awesome. Congrats. Can I quickly show the data scraping code? Yeah, while this is running, I can show you that. We just use this SNS scrape module. So let me put that into chat. That's just something that you can, this is an example of how you can use this Twitter search scraper to jump through a bunch of tweets and pull them in as a data frame. Super easy. Okay, so this ran through 500. Now, I wish this pipeline actually gave us all 3 scores, because it looks like it just gives us the max score. If we actually ran all this code ourselves, it looks like it would have given us all the scores, because the output of the model itself are the scores, which is negative, neutral, and positive. But this, for some reason, does just like the max value, like an arg max, and then provides us the value. So it like filters this down just to the max one. Maybe take an average score of each. Do I have a CS degree? I have a master's in data science. All right, so if we do data frame on this, how are we going to do this? All right, first let's just get it into a data frame. So we want this, I can... Columns, I think is what I want to set. Columns, columns, columns. Why am my brain not working? Columns. Index or array. Okay, so we're just going to do this. And then transform this. And that's our sentiment data frame. And then we're going to do apply. This works. We'll make that the label, and then we'll make a score. What am I trying to do with columns? I don't know. I'm being silly. I wanted to read this in where it wasn't, where I don't have to do the transform. I wanted each of these tweet IDs to be the index. So I think I was looking at columns, but I wanted to look at index. I don't know. I've done it before. All right, so sent data frame. Now we have our label and our score. And now we got to merge this back with our tweet data frame. There we go. What's the shape of this? I'm in love with the shape of you. Okay, 500 tweets. We've run sentiment analysis on it. We're going to merge it back with our tweets. Man, the cough's killing me. All right, so we have this essentially going back like a month. And let's just do some like silly stuff here. So let's take this score. Let's take the score. If the label is negative, we will take the score and we'll make it negative. Oh, it's only negative like a few days. That did not work. All right, so we're going to make a new column called score underscore. And if we're going to locate where it's negative, we're just going to put score as, we're going to replace it with score. Where this is negative, we're going to make the score underscore equal to this score times -1. Oh, is it already negative? Hold on a second. I should have probably plotted this before getting too far into it. Okay, so the score is not negative. But it will be once we do this. So these are the labels. I guess we should group by label and show the different scores, and then do plot legend. So this shows like there are very few negative sentiment ones. So a good bit of neutral ones, and then the amount of positivity looks like it ranges. But yeah, this -1 stuff I want to do here, and then I also want it where it's neutral. I can't think of like a good solution for this other than just making it equal to 0 for now. So then if we do this histogram again with the score underscore, a lot at 0. Yeah, that's the issue, because the neutral actually could be... We don't know where in the range between -0.5 and 0.5 that these neutrals actually sit, because they're probably somewhere on the spectrum in between there. But hey, it's good enough for what it is right now. Yeah, that's right, Rafa. It's just the probability of the value. I was confused because I thought it was negative at first, but I had accidentally already had redone that as negative. So we're going to take this and we're going to group, we're going to do the date time. Again, offline, I probably should pull a bunch of these, and then when we actually do the stream, we won't have to wait around to load it all. But we're going to take the date. This is why I wanted to make it all on one scale, this one score, so I could do like a group by date and do a mean value. This gives us the score of sentiment over these dates. The average sentiment of all the tweets. Now, if we take our stock price too, all right, so we need to actually just take the tail. All right, so we're going to make this plot and then do a twin X on it. So this is going to be our axis. What's going on here? Why don't I see this? I should see both of them plotted here. All right, let's merge them. We'll call this sentiment daily. Can we merge this onto our stock price close value? Question in using Spider? You can ask me. I don't really know Spider that much. Okay, so we're going to take this. Copy. CLX DF. Reset the index. And let's get this in the same format. Date. There we go. And that'll be our sentiment. And we're going to merge this on CLX DF. Left index true, right index equals true. These should have overlapping dates. Oh yeah, we need to set our index back to being the date. Merge this on CLX data frame, left index. Hey, BitReptor. There we go. We have a merge. It's only a few days worth of sentiment, but this is our sentiment and stock price. So if we do sentiment and we plot this, looks like this. If we do the closing price and plot it, looks like this. Not sure why this twin X isn't working. There we go. They don't look very correlated. All right. So what we have here is the sentiment in blue, the average sentiment for that day, and then we have the closing price, which has been going up for Clorox recently. Hey, Medallions. I've been working on analytics on PySpark. Cool. Do you need to do .show on the first one? So I'm doing like, this should all be in one figure. And then I do just .show at the end to show it. And actually, if I don't do .show, it'll still show it in a Jupyter session. It just like actually prints out the string representation or the repr of this object. So plot.show kind of hides that and makes it officially showing. BitReptor, so I like your stream. Nice. Yeah, I'm not doing any PySpark here, but we are learning about stonks. And unfortunately, I didn't realize like my cold was going to be affecting me this much. But I do appreciate everyone sticking around before. So it was broken before. Maybe I was doing plot.show early or higher up than I should have. That could have been it. Good catch. All right. So we have done this for one stock. Of course, we could sit here and run the sentiment analysis on a larger batch and wait 33 minutes. We could also pull for more stocks. We could pull more tweets. We only have like a year worth of tweets. Maybe that's something I could run offline and we can show next time. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this stream. We did learn how to pull past stock prices using this YouTube Finance Python library. We learned how we could pull tweets very easily using SNS Scrape. And then I showed you how we could use a Hugging Face Twitter sentiment analysis model to run sentiment analysis on those tweets. And if you can imagine, if you found a perfect stock out there where for some reason all the tweets tell you what the stock's going to be the next day, then you would be making tons of money. I don't think it's out there, but hey, go crazy, guys. Try to find it. Do we have access to the live notebook? Here's what I'll do. Let's go back here. Not to leave you all hanging here. I will go into this repository. This stock sentiment folder. I'm going to make this bigger so you guys can see. I'm going to add this stock sentiment. I'm going to go ahead and push this notebook to the internet, to the interwebs. Then I'm going to find the link for it, which should be here. And here is the notebook. I'll put it in chat too if anyone wants to take a look at it. Nothing too crazy that we did here, but you know, might get you started on a project if you want to do it on your own. It might give us something to look at next time. Obviously, this doesn't render like the Plotly Express in the GitHub. That's why you're not seeing it here, but the actual code used to render those images are here. So yeah, that's all there. Everyone can take a look at it. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Really excited to keep on streaming, and let me know if you guys have any feedback on how I do these streams, any way that you think I can improve it. I'm going to mention my Discord. Can you do anomaly detection with autoencoder in the future? I like to see how people do it. Yeah. So the best way to get in contact with me with ideas is through this Discord server. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. I have a YouTube, which you may be watching on right now. The link I will put in the chat. I also will link you to my Kaggle profile, where I have been putting together a lot of data sets that we're making on streams that you could take a look at, and you can upvote those if you feel compelled to. But yeah, I appreciate everyone hanging out today. I'm going to find someone to raid real quick, and then we'll end the stream. The best way you could support too, if you enjoyed this, is by following on Twitch, subscribing on YouTube, and following me on Twitter. Let me put that out here too. There is my Twit profile. Let's raid Cyforce1. Cyforce1 does coding. We've raided him some other times, and he's a really cool, chill dude. So this is Cyforce1's that we're raiding on Twitch. So if you're with us on Twitch, you're going to be joining his channel. Keep up the energy, positive vibes, and I appreciate you all hanging out. Thanks, Data Dude. Thanks, everyone. And we will maybe pick up on this or do something else on Thursday if I can stream. So hopefully see you guys then. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays are my big days to stream. Don't stream every one of those days, but when I do, it's usually around 9:30 Eastern. Appreciate you all, and I will see you in the next one once this is ready to let me raid. Boom. And they are gone, and now it's time to say goodbye to you, YouTube. See you guys later.